Hello everyone, this is Colonel S and welcome back, finally, to another Redstone tutorial. Today, we are going to be making my new design for my 4x4 piston door. If I flick this lever right here, all the blocks will close up nicely, and then if I flick it again, the door will open completely seamlessly. This door is really fast, and it is very small for a door of its size. This door will make a nice addition to any Minecraft world. Also, make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I go over any possible bugs or inconsistencies that may happen with this door. Now, without further ado, let's get on to the tutorial. To begin our tutorial today, we are going to build our door frame. So we're going to come 2 blocks up from the ground, and then we're going to put a line of 4 blocks like this. These blocks can be any block of your choice, whatever suits you aesthetically. And then we're going to continue around in a circle, so we're going to go over to the left side and place 4 blocks vertically. And then we're going to go up top and place 4 blocks horizontally. And then we're going to come back down on the right side with 4 blocks vertically. Next, we are going to place in our pistons. So we're going to come down below the door frame here, and I'm placing a line of blocks just to help me place the pistons. We're going to place 4 upward facing sticky pistons right along the bottom of the frame, and then you can destroy these blocks. Next, we're going to come to both sides of the 4 blocks here. We're going to place an upward facing sticky piston there, and then another one right there. Then we're going to head over to the left side here. We're going to place 2 blocks right there, and then 2 sticky pistons facing inward on top of those, and then we'll destroy the blocks and place 2 more sticky pistons facing inward. Then we're going to come over to the right side and repeat. So 2 blocks here, 2 sticky pistons there, break these blocks, and then 2 more sticky pistons there and there. Next, we're going to go over to the sides of the top 4 blocks, and we're going to place a downwards facing sticky piston there, and another downward facing sticky piston here. And then, same as the bottom, we're going to come up here, place some support blocks, and then place 4 downward facing sticky pistons right along the top line of the frame. Next, we're going to come down in front of the door here. We're going to go 2 blocks out and place a line of 4 blocks right here. On top of these blocks, there's going to be redstone, so just like that. And then we're going to start on the left side of the circuit. So on this side, we're going to place 2 blocks here, a repeater, and then some redstone. In front of the redstone, there's going to be a block with a torch on its leftmost face. And then above that torch, there's going to be another block with a torch on it. Above that torch, there's going to be a dropper with redstone on top of it. And then beside the dropper, there's going to be a block with a torch on top of it. And then finally, above that torch, there's going to be a block with a torch on its rightmost face. Next, we are going to go back down to the bottom, and under this first torch here, we are going to place a sticky piston facing toward the frame of the door, and then an observer on the end of the sticky piston facing up with a block above it. Next, we are going to come to this block here and place a torch on this face of it, so the face that is facing the frame of the door. And then we are going to come beside that torch, place a block here, a block here, a 1-tick repeater on top of this block, and a 4-tick repeater on top of this block, and then finally a block in front of the 4-tick repeater. Next, we are going to come over to this dropper right here, and we are going to place an observer on the face facing toward the door, so just like that. And then in front of that observer, there's going to be a block with redstone dust on top of it. Next, we are going to swing around to this side of the dropper, and we are going to place a block right next to this torch, a 3-tick repeater facing toward the door frame, a block in front of that repeater, another block right next to this piston, and then 2 redstone dust on those blocks. Next, we are going to come up to this piston here, place a glass block, this must be a glass block, on top of this piston, with redstone on top of it, and then a block here with a 3-tick repeater on top of it facing in toward the redstone. Now we are going to go around to the back of the door, and starting from where we placed the block above the observer, we're going to put a block right next to the observer and a 4-tick repeater right next to this block facing in toward the pistons. Above this 4-tick repeater, we are going to have an upward facing observer, so make sure the red dot is facing upward toward the pistons. And then to the left of that observer, we're going to have a glass block. Once again, this must be glass. And then a solid block on the other side of it. On top of all three of these, the upward facing observer, the glass, and the block, we are going to have redstone dust. Next, we are going to place another block below and to the right of this block with a 3-tick repeater on it facing away from the door. In front of this repeater, there's going to be another block. On top of the block, there's going to be a torch, and above the torch, there's going to be a block with a torch on its left face. Above the torch, there's going to be a dropper, and facing toward the door, beside these two pistons right here, there are going to be 2 observers. Next, put 2 of the same block you used for your door frame in front of these observers. Next, come up above this dropper here and place an upward facing observer with a block on top of it. On this face of the observer, place a block, another block beside it, a dropper on the end of this line, and then a downward facing observer below the dropper, just like that. Then come back up to the top and place 2 redstone on those 2 blocks. Then come over to this side, right where this redstone line is, find the observer you just placed down, and place an observer on that observer facing in toward this redstone line. Now we are going to come down below the door here, and we are going to find where we put this initial repeater on the bottom line, and we're going to build 3 blocks out from it and put redstone on all 3 of these blocks. And then we're going to build 3 more blocks out to the left with redstone on all 3 of them, and then 1 final block right here on that piston. Then we're going to go back to the top, find where we put this 3-tick repeater next to these pistons, and we're going to put a block here, and then 4 more of the same block that you used for your door frame along this line. And then we are going to put redstone on top of this piston and all 5 of these blocks. Next, we are going to go down to the right side of our door, and we are going to do a mirror image of what we just did over there. So we are going to start by placing 2 blocks here and here with a repeater and then redstone dust. To start, we are going to come down here and put 2 blocks. On top of the first block, there's going to be a 1-tick repeater and then redstone dust in front of that repeater. Then, in front of the redstone dust, there's going to be a block with a torch on its rightmost face, and then above that torch, there's going to be another block with a torch above it. Above that torch, there's going to be a dropper with redstone dust on top of it. To the left of this redstone dust, there's going to be another block with a torch on top of it. And then above this torch, there is going to be a block with a torch on its leftmost face. Then we are going to come back down to the bottom and place a sticky piston facing this direction with an upward facing observer on the end of it, and then a block above the upward facing observer. Next, we are going to come to this block here and put a torch on this face of the block, 2 blocks to the right of that torch, and then taking input from the torch, a 1-tick repeater leading into a 4-tick repeater. And then in front of the 4-tick repeater, we are going to put a block right next to this piston. Then we are going to come around to this dropper here, place an observer facing toward the pistons here, and then a block in front of that observer with redstone on top of it. Then we are going to swing around to this face of the dropper. We're going to put a block right next to this torch. On top of the block, there is going to be a 3-tick repeater. This repeater will run directly into a block with redstone on top of it. And then right on this piston, there's going to be another block with redstone on top of it. Then we are going to head up to where this piston is, and we are going to place a glass block right here. This block must be glass with redstone on top of it. And then next to that block, in front of this torch, we're going to place a solid block with a 3-tick repeater on it. Next, we are going to go back down to the bottom of the door, and starting from where the upward facing observer is, we are going to place a block right next to it, and then we are going to place a 4-tick repeater facing toward the door. Above that repeater, we are going to place an upward facing observer. Make sure the dot is facing up toward these pistons. Beside this observer, we are going to place a glass block. This block must be glass. In front of this glass block, we are going to place a solid block. And then on top of all three of these, the observer, the glass block, and the solid block, we are going to place redstone. To the left of this solid block here, we are going to place a solid block below it. Then we are going to place a 3-tick repeater facing away from the door. This repeater will run into a solid block. On top of this block, there will be a torch. And above this torch, there will be another block with a torch on this face. Above the torch, there is going to be a dropper, and then on the sides of these 2 pistons, there will be observers facing in toward the door. In front of these observers, place 2 more of the block that you used for your door frame. Then, you are going to come up above this dropper and place down an upward-facing observer, a block on top of that upward-facing observer, and then a block beside it. This block has redstone on top of it. Then beside this block, in toward the door, we're going to have another solid block with redstone on top of it. And then finally, we're going to have a dropper, and below that dropper, we're going to have a downward-facing observer, and then we're going to swing around to this side of it, find the observer you just placed, and place another observer facing in toward this redstone line on that observer. This 4x4 piston door should now be fully functional, so if I put a lever on this line right here, it should completely close, and then if I turn it off, it should completely open again. Unfortunately, as is with most designs in Bedrock Edition, there are a few inconsistency and bugs that can happen with this door. If you ever go to close your door and get a situation like this, or this, or this, or any combination of those, all you will typically have to do is turn it off and then turn it back on again, and it should fix itself. Although, if you are having these issues, you may want to consider putting obsidian below this piston right here, above this piston right here, and then above this piston right here, which requires you to move this redstone dust to right here, break this redstone dust, and then place your obsidian, and then obsidian below this piston right here, which once again requires you to move this redstone dust, so you can break it, break this block, put a repeater facing toward these blocks right here, and then you can place your obsidian below this piston. That should prevent the door from breaking if that error ever occurs. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you want to see more tutorials like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like below and comment what you would like to see me build next. See you in the next one.